Okay, thanks for checking out this latest video that I've done. On this video I will be doing code recovery from some Apple laptops. Now, I'm not a big fan of the Apple stuff apart. It is very complicated sometimes with some of the screws they use, stuff like that on it. So I'm going to take it apart, see is there anything worth taking apart inside of these. Is there much gold recovery material? Hard drives have been already removed from these, so from the person I got them from, the hard drives have been removed. Not sure if there's some RAM has been removed or not, but we'll know as we dig down into these whether there's any RAM left or anything like that inside of them. See what sort of processors inside of them for code recovery. So first off, I just want to give a few shout outs to a few people. I'd like to thank Scrapper Dave, who has give a shout out on his channel to me, which has really helped my subscriber numbers get up. So again, if you're not a subscriber to Scrapper Dave, check out his channel. Subscribe to his channel, some very good videos up there. There's also Gio. Gio has been very helpful as well on promoting my channel on the Facebook page. There's the group that I'm a part of. So again, thanks Gio for that. Anyone else that really gives a shout out, anyone that's subscribed, there's too many. I'll try and do lists and stuff like that of people I want to thank for it, but anyone that's subscribed, anyone that's given me a shout out on their channel, I really appreciate it. I'll give a shout out on my channel if I haven't. If you want to shout out on my channel, just drop me a line, leave me a comment. I'll give you a shout out. Leave a link to your channel on the comments if you want, so that if anyone wants to have a look at your channel, just leave a link to your channel on my comment page on the video so people can check it out. So we'll just don't forget to subscribe. My subscriber numbers are gone round, I think it's 148 or 138, I'm not sure at the moment. So I want to try and get them up to 200 if I can, as quickly as possible. Again, I am working on some gold recovery videos, which I won't be uploading until I get my subscriber numbers well up. So if you want to see these videos on the actual gold recovery and refine, so straight from, we say, the gold fingers, from processors, from IC chips, stuff like that, how I get the gold and get it into the nugget form. If you want to see them videos, you're going to have to subscribe to the channel. Once I get my numbers well up there, I will start uploading them videos. Till then, I'm just going to carry on doing my teardown videos, how I find my material, where I get my material. So first off, I said this is the Apple laptop that I'm going to be taking apart. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove all the screws from around it. Okay, so again, I'm not going to bore you with just watching me unscrew the casings on them. So I'm just going to remove the screws from them. Once I've removed the screws, we'll come back, we'll have a look and see what the next stage I'm going to go on to on it. Some of this I might be able to get some of the screws out, because again, as I said, Apple do make it as difficult as possible for you to get out, and I may not have the proper screw heads or something for getting out, so sometimes I just rip them apart when I get to that stage. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Once I've taken this down, I'll pause the video. Once I've taken all the screws out, we'll come back and we'll move on to the next stage. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so I've removed a lot of the screws that I could see physically there. So I've removed all the screws. You can see there's just a little cover over the RAM, which should be in here, but again, the RAM has already been removed, so there is no RAM in this one. Someone has already removed the RAM. We'll just try now and part the plastic cover if I can. Again, there is some screws I couldn't get out because Apple being Apple, they make it awkward for you. Which again, I suppose is their right to protect their property, whatever way they want to put the screws in. So again, a lot of the time I'll have to tear this apart. It won't be coming up with the screws and stuff. So I'm sorry for you purists out there watching the video who'll be screaming at the screen now. What am I doing to an Apple product? So again, there must be some hidden screws on somewhere along here, maybe, possibly under this cover. Let me just see if I can. I'll try and take it in as far as I can. Give me a regular laptop anytime. These Apple, I'm not a fan of. Okay, so let's see if we can get to where this little screw is being held. I presume it's under this silver cap. No, that's just a control button, so again, I can't really see what's holding it because I've removed the screws, as many screws as I could see on the back. Well, that solves that, doesn't it? Just rip it. Okay, so again now I've gained access to a few more screws on the back that will probably need to be removed first. So again, there's a few little screws here and here holding the board in, but a quick look at the board. I can see some IC chips, some more IC chips, some crystal oscillators in the ceramic type. Good few MLCCs, nice, quite big ones. Again, this probably is where the main processor for this particular one is in here. What I'll do is I'll take out these other screws that are along here now that once I've taken the back cover off, I've gained access to these screws. So what I'll do is I'll remove these screws. We'll get into the board a bit further. So I'll come back once I've removed the screws and we'll see what the board is like. Okay, so after a lot of effort and a lot of screws, I've got access to the board. So as I was saying, there was a lot of screws on this board, a lot of awkward screws. I've already said it already, I'm not a fan of Apple stuff. They make it, you know, it's very difficult. You need a lot of screwdrivers, different sizes, stuff like that. A lot of time I just smash them open rather than waste my time trying to get every screw, but I just don't try and make the board in one piece rather than smash it up. Because again, if you're recycling, it doesn't even matter if you cut that board unless you're selling your boards or whatever you're going to be doing. But I do try and strip the boards completely of anything at all of worth on them. Because in Ireland you don't really have anyone that buys the boards, so you're going to have to strip them down. So after I've removed the board, we have a little fan, part of the board. Not really worth much. You might have someone might be able to repurpose it or something like that. You might be able to repurpose it, have another use for it. The board itself, so we'll just have a quick look at the board itself. So on as I said, this side, I've got my IC chips, so a lot of IC chips on it. We have the MLCCs, so as I said in previous videos, some of them will have platinum in them, some will have gold, some will have silver, some just have zinc in them. So again, you can, at the moment I'm working on a video actually processing some of these. So again, hopefully that video will be done in a while, and if you want to see it, if you're subscribed, once I get the subscriber numbers up, we'll be all able to share, I'll be able to share that video with everyone. So under here should be, I presume, your main processor under here, but as I say, there's a lot of this heat paste or heat distribution paste or covers or anything on it, so it does make it a bit more difficult to get into it. So it needs to be cleaned off. So what I'll do is probably clean that off in a few minutes and show you what that looks like once I've had all the paste taken off it, and have a look and see if it is the main processor chip that's on this board. But I'd say more than likely it is by the looks of it. That'll be our main processing chip. So we'll try and get access into that and see if I can get it removed from the board, or how is it soldered to the board, or what way is it done to the board. So I'll clean that up in a few minutes. So it'll give me a bit more, you'll be able to see what's on it. So on this side I said the IC chips, MLCCs, a nice ceramic crystal oscillator in here. I wonder, can I zoom into it? Let's see, can we get it to focus? Doesn't really want to focus on it. Try and come out a small bit. Bit better. Okay, so that's your crystal oscillator in the ceramic type. So again, they will contain gold. As you can see, the MLCCs along here. So we've got a lot of MLCCs, quite nice size ones. Along here, we have your IC chips. I'd say these could have been onboard RAM chips, maybe. This is what they could be. Again, another little IC chips here. some more ICs, some more MLCCs. Don't know what that is, to be honest. If anyone knows what that is, leave a comment. Some tantalums, quite small tantalum capacitors. Other than that, is there anything major else I'd take off that side of the board? Not really. Say the main processing chip. That'll be about it. We have here some gold contacts where the battery met. So again, I'll remove them gold contacts. So that seems to be everything that's on this side of the board. So we'll have a quick look on the other side of the board. So straight away, we have our BGA chip. So again, a nice BGA chip, nice size chip. So we have that. Again, some MLCCs, some gold pins, where the ribbons and stuff connected, the hard drives or whatever were connected to it. Looks like a ceramic chip here of some sort. Again, that may be the processor there. It's soldered onto the board. There may be gold inside of them. I've never processed any of them type. So again, they may be worthless. There may be actually good gold contact in them. We'd have to check that out later. Anything else major there besides we have again the tantalums, the black tantalums this time. So we have instead of the orange ones. That seems to be about it really. Again, we'd have some gold contacts in along here. So in there you can see the gold contacts. So again, I do remove them from the boards from my gold connections, put them in with gold pins. Here again, there should be gold contacts in along here on this one. That seems to be about it really. The tantalums, MLCCs, crystal oscillator, just the normal crystal oscillator, not the ceramic type. Again, there's a good few of the MLCCs along here, some nice big ones in here, some more here. So we have a lot of MLCCs on the board in general there. Some of the smaller MLCCs along here. Again, they all add up if you're scraping them off the board. It's a very small tantalum on this board. So that seems to be kind of really it from it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to clean up that chip on the other side so we can get a closer look at it. We have some copper here if you're collecting your copper. Some copper in there on it. Probably possibly copper in here. Copper in here on it. That seems to be about it. Oh, sorry, we have another little thing I want to show you here. So again, we have some little contacts here, which seem to be gold plated. So again, I'll take them off and I'll put them in with my gold pins for future things. So what I'm going to do is going to pause the video there. We'll just zoom back out. Going to pause the video. Going to clean up this chip. See can I make out what's wrote on it. And we'll come back and we'll finish up the video. But I just have a few more bits. There's also there seems to be a little bit of board in here. I'm going to try and get that out of it. So again, I'll just screw off any screw connections I see. We'll have the mouse connection, so I'll take that off. We'll have a look at him, see if there's much on him for your mouse for screwing. Seems to be something magnetic here because all the screws are just sticking to this area. So that seems to be that strip seems to be magnetic. So again, I'll take that strip off. Oh yeah, it's just a magnetic for probably when it closed down to hold it in place or something. So that's just a little handy small little magnet there now I do, which is handy for if you're checking for aluminium or steel to see if something is aluminium or steel, just to see, because as you can see here, magnet sticks straight away, but on here it doesn't stick. So chances are we have aluminium. So again, it's just a little handy enough little magnet there, so I'll hold on to that for that purpose. So we'll take pause the video, clean up that chip. I'll come back. I'll break this off here. Again, that's usually straightforward. Just put a screwdriver in underneath here, and it should just allow you to break it off. If I can find my screwdriver, which seems to have disappeared completely from around me, which fell on the floor, sorry about that. So again, just usually try and get in underneath and just break where the connections are. So I can see there's two connections up here. There's one. and get under this one if I can, where there's two more connections. So that's getting that off. So again, just bend that back, do the same on this side. Okay. So we have some ribbon here. So again, usually you'd have some gold contacts hopefully on the ribbons, which can be processed as well. So on this one, don't seem to be gold, it seems to be more silvery colour. So again, it's probably just tin, could be silver, but more than likely it's just tin. So that's giving me access to that, so I can see now that the thing's up. We'll try and pop off the far side, just covering it over. So that's giving me the little scroller mouse pad from the laptop, so I'll just remove the double-sided sticky tape from it. So we see straight away what I can see on this, some gold flashing, IC chip, seems to be like a little crystal oscillator of some type, but possibly not. Just along here, so again I can see the gold flashing around it. Again, this can be, once you depopulate these off it, you can put this in your lye to remove the solder mask and see if it's gold flashed all the way to underneath the board, which some of them are, and we'll just see if we can remove the protective cover on the outside away from it. So again, nice gold flashing on this, so chances are this could be gold flashed underneath, completely gold flash, which is a nice find on it. So I'll add them into my little collection, so it's nice shine off. Again, it's very thinly flashed, as to say, there's not a big thick layer of gold on that, but if you have enough of them they do add up. So just put them aside, keep them aside, and see what else there is in it. Also, while I'm just on it, we have another ribbon here. So on this ribbon, what we have is connectors. Now inside of them connectors will usually be gold pins. They are very awkward to get to. Sometimes I just smash them with a hammer to try and get access. Sometimes they can peel apart from it and leave the pins exposed, but I don't think it'll work on this one. Maybe they will. We'll just have a look if we can get in underneath of it and see will it peel apart from it. No, it doesn't seem to want to peel apart. I might get my screwdriver through it and see can we lift it a bit higher. If we can get the screwdriver in under it and see if we can get it to peel from it, but it doesn't look like it will. No, it's just going to break the ends off. It's not going to separate, but some of them can separate, but this one doesn't seem to want to do that too easily. We'll just try it here on this one. It might allow me to, it seems to be pulling it apart slightly. We'll just see if we can work our way up it. No, again it's just breaking the board on the back, but I don't know, can you see there's pins running up through here, and usually they will be gold tipped on them, or it could be gold flashed at the ends, but I'd say eventually I could, if I had a vice, I possibly could pull them apart and gain access to them. So again, there we go, that's what I wanted to do. So actually we have pulled these apart, so again you can see here now the gold pins there. So they are gold pins. If I can break one off, we'll have a look at it. So it's a little gold pin here, if I can zoom in a bit. Get the focus. But that's a little gold flash pin. So again, you can get them out of them connectors, so just to add to your collection of pins. So I'm just going to pause the video there, clean up the little processor on that board, remove the little board I see down here, just to see what's inside of that board, if there's much in it. If it's easy to remove, if it's too hard to remove, I just leave it there, because there's a lot of hinges and clips and screws. You have your flop or your disk drive still there. Again, it's just a matter of screwing them off. There's a few screws here I can see here, and that need to be just removed to screw it off. So I might just remove that. Again, I don't bother with the screens, to be honest. I do much with the screens for the amount of effort. You might get a little strip in here sometimes of gold. I kind of just don't really, I smash them open rather than go looking for screwdrivers and stuff like that. I usually smash them open. I'm not the sort of buck that likes to waste a lot of time. When I'm doing it for the video here, I'll try and break stuff down as much as I can, but usually it's just smash it open if I can, unless there's something I need out of it of value. But other than that, it's just smash it open. So I'll pause it, come back to you when I've cleaned that board up. Okay, so I've cleaned up the chip a bit, so we can make out a bit of information on it. So more than likely it's a graphics chips, I'd say. It could be possibly the processing chip, but I'd say more than likely a graphics chips. Seems to have a little rubber seal around it, or a silicone seal around it. I'm going to try and get a chisel under it just to see if I can remove it that way. Say that more than likely might be the processing chip then on it. So it's an IBM chip that's in there. So maybe a processing chip, may not be a processing chip. So again, if I can get the chisel under it and see, can we pry it from the board itself. Again, the ceramic one may crack because it's ceramic and chip away. So yeah, that's going to just chip away. So I'll just use heat gun to get that off, rather than just chip away constantly out of there. Hopefully there's some gold inside of it, possibly not. But we'll have a look at that at a later stage when I'm doing other videos. See if I can get in under this one with my chisel. So again, it's not going to come away too easy. So I'm going to have to leave that for another heat gun job, I think. Just because it's sometimes you can get in under these chips with the chisel and pry them away. No, it's not going to happen. So I'm not going to waste time on it. I'm going to leave them for heat gun to be done with the heat gun at a later stage. So not really much in the Apple laptops. So it's a ceramic chip, hopefully some gold. If you know information on that, let me know. Crystal oscillators, BGA, gold bearing pins, MLCCs, IC chips, a lot of IC chips, MLCCs, ceramic crystal oscillators, tantalums, gold bearing pins. You've got your mouse pad, get a nice bit of gold flashing on it. Hopefully again, when this is all cleaned up and the solder mask is removed, it hopefully has gold underneath it. Just see if we can get a little scrape on it and just see if we can see what's under it. Seems to be a goldy colour under it. It's not a coppery colour, it seems to be a gold. So again, that looks like it's gold flashed, which is good that we have a solid gold, well not solid gold, but a gold flashing on both sides. So that makes it a bit more worth doing. So that's it really for this video on this gold recovery from Apple iPads. I have a video coming up as well on a projector that I'm working at the moment to see what sort of boards are in the projectors. Is there much gold on the boards? Stuff like that. I said I am working on the gold recovery from items like that, using the methods I use to get the gold away from the boards, the gold flashing, then refining that into a nugget, little gold nuggets, seeing what sort of grams I'm getting per pound, stuff like that. So if you want to see them videos where I'll be working a bit more on yields and stuff like that, you have to subscribe. I'm not going to put these videos up until I get my subscribers numbers up. It's just something I set myself that I want to try and get the subscriber numbers up before I start doing them videos. Well, I'm doing the videos at the moment, but before I start uploading the videos. So again, check out Scrapper Dave if you haven't already. Moose Scrapper, very good stuff there. Moose Scrapper. Geo does very good videos. Again, I'll try and put a link to these lads' YouTube channel on my channel down there to make it easier for you just to click on theirs and bring you straight over to their channel. Again, Guy, the Dave Scrapper, Moose, Geo. If you don't want me to put a link on my YouTube, let me know. I'll remove the link once I have it up. If you're happy enough to leave it there, I'm happy enough to have it there for you, so that people can go from my channel over to your channel and vice versa. Again, if you have any info for me, can help me out anyway, lads. I'd much appreciate it. So that's it for this video. Check it out. Check out some of my other videos on the channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, share it, and most importantly, subscribe and keep on watching. Thanks for that, lads.